Happy Wednesday. My eyes are a little blurry. They feel a little blurry. My eyesight. I've been staring at a computer screen for a long time. So, anyways, it's November 4th, right? Yeah, November 4th. And I think this is gonna be the last video for a while. Yeah. I've learned a big lesson, a very big lesson. A big lesson. I meditated this morning. I woke up feeling great. I meditated, and during my meditation, it was a wonderful meditation, and I started seeing this pattern of lighting, like working backwards almost. Like it was like a cycle and it was going backwards. And so it felt like I was going backwards is what stood out for me. And that was, I mean, there was a lot of other stuff, a lot of other images, but that was the one that really stood out for me. And I did the tarot shuffle this morning, and so I'm keeping that pattern. Again, for those of you that don't know, I do a tarot shuffle in the mornings after my meditation, just to identify what challenge I need to be aware of, what challenge do I need to learn from, and what challenge needs my love and compassion. And so I just do it as a, growing tool. And so this morning I received this one. I've never received this one before, but so it's the Seven of Swords. Futility. I had to look up that word. But basically stands for pointless, useless. So I like the idea of requesting one more card for clarification. And I received the Nine of Pentacles. So it was interesting because it's like an air sign, right? Air sign. And then earth sign. And then the Oracle deck that I got was, I've had this before as well, the Surface one. So beautiful. So flowy. So I looked it up and I was a little confused. The Seven of Swords stands for Sun and Moon in Aquarius, recklessness, misguided efforts, and negative thinking, a fickle mind, deceit and self-deception, useless and futile plans, right? That's Seven of Swords, it's this one. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, she seems defeated. All the swords seem like they're going in different places. The Nine of Pentacles, Venus in Virgo, improvements in emotional and financial areas. The Harvest, the sunflower, symbolizes completion, achievement, and material success through discipline and persistence. I could have sworn I had gotten like the Princess of Pentacles at some point. So that kind of stuck in my head for a while. I mean, I was chewing on it and just trying to like understand what the lesson was. And then the Surface one, the Oracle deck, the earthly meaning stands for accept someone at face value and underlying motivation surfaces. Stability allows creativity to flourish, a return to calm after a temporary upheaval. We are all a little messy beneath the surface. Judge someone on their actions and the beauty they bring to the world. A gold heart lies beneath a tough exterior. Do not dismiss pleasantries. They grow strong foundations. Be wary of cynicism. Spiritual meaning. Just below the surface of what we think is reality is the powerful, dreamlike realm of imagination. It is from this world of pure creativity that everything comes to life, is built or discovered. Your imagination is not restricted to the physical or known world. It is unlimited, multidimensional, free and clear. Mine the treasures of your soul and let your true self surface. So then I listened to Chris's Minnow Pond Tarot, and I usually listen to him on a daily basis. It's pretty accurate in terms of the challenges or what I should look out for that day. And And then I saw Allie's tarot. She was the first one I started off with, and I hadn't listened to her in a while. But she's also pretty on point in terms of what happens during the week. And I had mentioned yesterday about having made a decision that changed and altered the course. And that seems to be the pattern for the last couple of weeks. I had a realization that I keep putting myself in this cycle. And that's what this morning's meditation, like what I got, that's what that meant. I keep backtracking. So I a few steps forward and then I backtrack. And so yesterday's reckless decision, misguided decision, right? Because I'm over here talking about synchronicities and signs, and I'm ignoring them. There's some that I ignore, and just kind of, I think in my head, I think initially it wasn't purposefully, I wasn't doing it purposefully. I think it was more of just, oh, it's just a sign, right? I wasn't really associating it completely with what I was doing or thinking in that moment. I know yesterday was huge in that respect, because that was kind of like the first time that I realized it. And even during when I got home afterwards, like the unbalance came up and I ignored it. And I ignored it and I kept ignoring it, even though my intuition was telling me what I needed to do. And it wasn't until at night, I was supposed to go to bed early, and I got this like spurge of energy, and I just kept like trying to complete certain tasks instead of following through with what I was supposed to do, which was go to sleep early. I still woke up rested, but and I did have a few more hours of sleep than what I normally have been getting. But regardless, it defeats the purpose, right? These signs are there. I'm supposed to listen to them. I'm supposed to respond, right? Listen. That was the one. That reminds me of that one video, the one with the little boys like, listen, Linda, listen. And so, and Wyatt was continuously stressed before. Christina Lopes came out with a new video yesterday, which resonated with me, and I was listening to that, so I stayed up listening to that. And in there, it describes some of the things that I actually was experiencing yesterday that I didn't share. I think the biggest one was, there was a moment during my day where I realized something emotionally, that was emotionally healing, and immediately there was like a shift within me that brought me like some sadness and grief. And aside from, I was already experiencing that with the realization that I need to at some point say goodbye to my job, my position. But this was different. It was like internally a shift with this realization that not only was I saying goodbye to my job, or mentally preparing myself to say goodbye, but there was another shift within me that I was saying goodbye to a version of myself, to an old way of doing things, an old way of thinking. Like a part of me was dying almost. And so there was this solemn, it was just the weirdest feeling, because it was like literally like the light switch was turned off almost. And so I came home and I was really bummed out and really sad and emotional, and not realizing exactly what was going on. But then Christina Lopes, I heard her video, and I'll share the link, but it resonated with what she was sharing. And I'm still not clear if that's what I'm going through, but she also started talking about self-care and sleep. And then that's when I realized I'm not listening. Every sign was saying you know, call it night. Like, just stop trying to do what you can and fit into a day. Everything needs to be balanced, right? And so the choice that I made yesterday was reckless. It was misguided. I didn't ask for guidance. I just made the choice, right? I didn't see any of the signs for me to move forward with that decision, and I did it anyways. Hence the change in the outcome. So this expected result continues to be delayed week after week after week. And again, it's this old pattern of myself, really, that this, you know, fickle mind, wishy-washiness, going into negative thinking, doubt, right, that I supposedly let go of. And so the futile plans, right, what's the point of having synchronicities if I'm not going to follow them? So I had another moment of trying to release the air of my big head. and so I even wrote it down. I went and I grabbed my Post-its that positive thoughts, right? I can do this. I am doing this. I'm taking action. I can and I will. Surrender to the universe again. Trust the process. Let go of the old, my old. Trust my intuition and stay grounded, right? So no more of this. So I need to remember the student, right? All of this is about being a student. The student that I was when I was in undergrad and graduate school, that had calendars and schedules and routines, and I was like by the book, you know, one thing after another, bam, bam, go, go, just knocking stuff down and crossing lists off and just being present but structured and really following through, which is one of the tasks that I'm trying to get back on, or skills that I'm trying to go back to, that I know I had before and I've lost that person. Hence why I am saying that this might be the last video for a while. I'm going to limit how often I record and just keep track with my journaling, and not talk about every single detail, but just talk about the things that maybe just tug at my heart. So I do appreciate this platform. I appreciate the ability to process my feelings out loud to maybe one or two people watch the videos. But it's really been helpful. It really has. And I'm so grateful for the technology to be able to do this, for the people who helped me start this off. And so I'm going to create a routine, a schedule, and I'm gonna stick with it. So and it's funny because when I realize certain things about this lesson that I've learned again, these songs that came up. The first one was the Frozen 2 song, Into the Unknown. I think Allie must have mentioned that I was going into the void, and just really focusing on mastering, you know, these things that I have pending that I need to get done, that, you know, there's a whole nother chapter of calling that I need to get to, and in order to get to that I need to master and learn the lesson where I currently am. And so and then right now, as I was really focusing on my self-care and thinking about how I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon and evening, really focusing on my self-care, and that includes incorporating a workout routine and just things that will make me feel good, you know. I might go back to meal prepping, so it's one less thing to do during the week. It's already automatically done. You know, it just little things like that, time savers. And I used to be really good at that, and I lost that. So so then I hear the song, again, all piano and musically inclined and no words, but it's Me by a Brooklyn duo is the orchestra, or I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, orchestra. And it's the Taylor Swift song. So take one step forward, two steps back. Process of change. In therapy, that's the stages of change. That is something that I do share a lot with clients, that the stages of change, it's not linear at all. It's kind of like circular, and depending on what stage you're in. And I'll probably add a link to that too, just the stages of change, so that you guys can see it and see where you fit in, right? But that's part of that process, you know, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, get back on the bandwagon, and keep going until you master it, and then eventually it'll get easier to just hop right back on. So I think today, after this lesson was ingrained in my head, I started seeing the patterns again, the imbalance and the balance. And of course, the imbalance was when I was getting distracted with other stuff, like about to text, you know, when I shouldn't be texting, and so I would catch it and redirect myself, you know? So I think it's, I'm gonna learn how to work this synchronicity the way it needs to be worked, right? I need to learn how to, who said it? Someone said it. I need to learn how to flow with the energy, so that it doesn't, there's no pushback, right? I need to listen to my intuition. I'm keeping this one short. I have things to do. All right, thank you.